Hey guys, welcome back. It's Crystal with Emerson Aurora Design, and today I'm going to show you how to make a partial peekaboo tumbler. I'm starting off with a 30-ounce skinny straight from Stainless Depot. I did sand it, wash it, and spray paint it with Rust-Oleum 2 times white paint. And I'm going to use the epoxy method to apply my glitters. When doing the epoxy method to apply glitters, you just need really a little bit of epoxy. No more than 5 mLs, 5 to 10 depending on the size of your tumbler, just enough to coat that tumbler completely without it being too thick. As always, wear your proper PPE when using epoxy. Wear your gloves, a respirator, and have a good ventilation when you're working with tumblers. I'm using my torch just to heat the epoxy a little to have it spread out evenly. And I'm using 2 Diamond Series glitters from Glitter Craze. This one's called Sea Breeze. It is a really pretty high sparkle seafoam green color. You'll be able to see that sparkle when the epoxy's over it later, but it really does live up to its name. It has a diamond-like sparkle. I'm going to apply my Sea Breeze to the bottom half of the tumbler. I'm doing a quick ombre here to spread my glitter out, concentrating on the bottom edge and just holding my shaker up high to get a good waterfall of glitter down the tumbler. The second color I'm using is also from the Diamond series of Glitter Craze. It's called Ember. It's this pretty pink, like a shell pink glitter. And I'm going to apply that to the top portion of the tumbler. And just like with the green, I'm going to concentrate my glitter mostly on that top edge and just hold my cup at a 45-degree angle down to allow that glitter to waterfall down the tumbler to have a good transition. I didn't cover the middle completely because I want to go in with this emulation mixed glitter. It's called Emulation from Glitter Craze also. It has different colors of translucent pink and green and silver glitters. It's just a mix. It matched the glitters very well, so I just decided to do a little center burst to fill in that area there. And I really like the way that these colors all work together. So once this is completely cured, I do go in with 2 layers of epoxy and let them both cure completely before starting my next step. And this is I already cut out my image here. It's a tree of life. The center symbol that looks like a little N is an ancient rune. My customer wanted that in the middle of the tree of life, so I just thought I'd share this tumbler that I'm making for my customer. But now I'm going to go in and I'm going to apply masking tape around the image, probably about an inch, inch and a half away from the image, because we're going to do a small peekaboo area. I don't want the whole tumbler to be covered because I really love this glitter, and I don't want to cover it. You can see how pretty that glitter is. It really is a really diamond sparkle. It has a diamond sparkle to it. It's so pretty under epoxy. So I'm just going to go in and cover up these spots so that my overspray of spray paint does not get on the rest of the tumbler. And I'm going to essentially spray paint just the area in the center where the tree is. Let's go outside. Here I'm using 3 different colors of Rust-Oleum 2 times. I have like a light mint green. I don't remember the name of it specifically. I have a candy pink and a white. I wanted to add 3 different color layers because it adds more dimension to my peekaboo, and when I am pulling off the paint later, you'll see those colors will shine through. So first I'm going in with the light green. It's hard to tell what color it is here, but it is the mint green. It's a really pale, it really matches, both of this and the pink really match the glitters really nicely. And I'm just going in and spraying directly over that one with the pink. You could let this dry before you spray the next color, but I wasn't too worried about it. I'm doing a light coat of all 3, and it's going to be rubbed off eventually anyway, so I was okay with it still being wet. And lastly, I'm going to go in with my white and just give it a good spray. I am going to let this dry completely before I start my next step, which is peeling my tape off and the peekaboo. Let's go back inside. So my spray paint had time to dry, and now I'm going to remove the tape. To distress this paint here, I'm going to take my acetone and my 91% isopropyl alcohol and remove some of the paint to distress it. My purple is my acetone and my pink is my alcohol. I bought these handy little dispensers at the Dollar Tree. I like to use paper towel when I'm removing this paint. It just has a texture to it, and I think it just helps pull some of that paint off. So I'm going for a distressed look. When you're doing this and you're using the acetone, be really gentle because that acetone will immediately take that paint right off. So if you want those colors to show through underneath, use a lighter hand. And yes, the paint is going to smear. That's okay. We're going to go in and clean that up once I'm done getting the edge the way I want it. I want it to be in more of an oval or a round shape around the tree to match the shape of the tree of life. So you can start to see some of that paint peeking through under the white. You can see the shell pink, and then later you'll see a little bit of that mint green also. To take off the majority of the paint, you use the acetone, and that's what I'm doing here. And then once you get it where you want it, you go back in with isopropyl alcohol and clean up those areas. It takes more elbow grease to take the paint off with the alcohol than with the acetone, so it's fine to go over the whole image completely if you want a rustic look. Just be careful and don't put too much pressure on it, and just clean it up until that glitter's sparkling once again. There's no right or wrong way to do this technique. You just want to, go easy. Start off slowly, because once you take it off, you'd have to go back and respray it if you make a mistake. But if you do, it's okay too. I'm adding just light pressure in the center to allow some of that other color paint to shine through over the tree of life there. So you can see the pink and some of the blue starting to show through. I think it gives a nice dimension, and it just adds to the beauty of the tumbler. I love the tree of life symbol. I have many of them in my home. I even have a ring that's a tree of life. You may have seen it here in my videos as I'm doing my tutorials. It just speaks to my heart and I just really like it. This image I found quite a while ago, probably a couple years ago. I've had it in my little stash of SVG images for quite a while. I believe that it was an image I found on Google and then I made it into an SVG. And then I went in and added the little rune in the center in my Cricut design space. I've made one of these tumblers before with the breast cancer awareness ribbon in the center of the tree, which turned out really pretty also. So this vinyl, it's pretty intricate to pull off. I'm going to kind of jump ahead and speed up so you'll see it kind of jumping ahead here somewhat, but all those individual pieces have to be peeled off. So you just want to be real careful, go slowly. I use this little needle tool to pull up my vinyl. I feel it works really well for these intricate pieces because I can just kind of poke right underneath the vinyl and peel it up without scratching my paint. But if you do happen to kind of miss and scratch the paint, that's fine. Just go back in with a little bit of your alcohol on a paper towel and just kind of rub it out, and you will be able to hide any scratch marks. That's the beauty of this type of tumbler. Peekaboos are really my favorite type tumblers to do. There's something about the intricacy that I really enjoy. I love revealing the image once I peel out the vinyl, and even when I have to struggle with my vinyl because I accidentally may use a permanent vinyl instead of removable vinyl, it still really gives me a lot of satisfaction, and I really enjoy the outcome of them. What are your favorite types of tumblers to make? The nice thing about doing a partial peekaboo is that you don't have to completely cover all your beautiful glitter, because who wants to cover up all of this gorgeousness that you just put on your tumbler? And you get the best of both worlds with the peekaboo and the pretty glitter showing. One thing that I've found is if you're doing a peekaboo and once you put your epoxy over it, if you find that you're getting fish eyes, I figured out part of the reason that you may be getting fish eyes. Sometimes the adhesive from the vinyl stays on the portion that you pull off and has a little bit of a sticky residue. If you apply the epoxy over that residue, you will get fish eyes. Now, fish eyes are fairly easy to fix. You just go in once the epoxy is cured and sand it down really well and wipe it down really well with isopropyl alcohol and add another layer of epoxy. To avoid the fish eyes after you do a peekaboo, you could take a little Q-tip and some isopropyl alcohol and just scrub that adhesive off from your peekaboo area. However, in the case of this specific SVG that I'm doing, it's so intricate. If you were to go in with a Q-tip and alcohol, you would probably remove too much paint and then you lose your image. So what I usually do is I will, before I put my layer of epoxy on, once I have all my vinyl removed, I go in with a water-based polyurethane sealer. Some people can use Quick Coat. You can use polyacrylic. I use Bright Tone from Crystalac. It's just something that I had on hand because I was interested in the product, and it works really well as a sealant. If you don't have these products, you could also go ahead and seal it really well with some spray clear polyurethane or clear spray paint and seal the area really well before you apply your epoxy, and that will help avoid the fish eyes. Well, I'm almost done finally peeling it up. There we go. Now I did go in with 2 coats of my epoxy and allowed those to cure fully, and this is the final product. I'm sorry it's kind of a moving video here. I was having some camera issues. But look at how beautiful this tumbler turned out. I love those glitters under epoxy. They're so much better in person too. And look at that tree of life. All the detail and depth that the partial peekaboo gives. I love it so much, and I hope you do too. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. You can drop me a question or a comment below. I love to respond to you guys, and I appreciate you taking time. Also, thank you so much for taking time to watch my video, and I hope you learned something new today. Give this partial peekaboo a try, and that way you won't have to cover up your beautiful glitter. And as always, thank you so much. Happy crafting, everyone, and have a beautiful day.